Morning, good morning, good morning, Shine. On in. Come on in. We got some things to talk about on this episode of Car Chronicles. Right along with me as we talk for the next hour, all things politics. Elon Musk, Donald J. Trump, the U.S., job losses. There's a lot going on in these American streets, and we're going to get into it. Like the video, like, share, and subscribe. Got some information I want to share with you all this morning. I definitely want to get into the conversation centered around, into a conversation centered around AI. Because, listen, AI is taking over. And they don't care who will be on a soup line as a result of it. So I have a list of the top 6 industries that are impacted by all of this, the AI. Very interesting, yet not surprising. Interesting, but not surprising. Many people are in these fields. So, as time progresses, it will be very interesting to see what type of jobs people will be doing, what type of jobs people will be working with AI. AI is coming in heavy and strong. And it's nothing we can do about it. We just got to figure out how to make it work for us. Come on in, like the video, double tap the screen. Happy Wednesday, happy hump day. Come on in. I want to talk about Elon. Listen, Elon and his feelings. I said, y'all, it was going to be a matter of time before he started talking. Everybody get cussed out. Listen, I was able to feel it. I'm telling you, Elon is that woman, that side chick, that one you say, listen, I no longer need your services, and all hell break loose. That's the energy I've picked up from Elon ever since him and Trump kind of linked up and became bros. I'm like, it's not going to end well. This isn't going to end well. Elon is talking, and I do not feel like we've heard the last of him. He has his own platform. Listen, he got the who gonna check me boo energy. You know, when you got your own platform on the internet, you can do what you want to do. Ain't nobody there to check you. It's your space. So you're entitled to talk your talk, how you want to talk it, when you want to talk it, to who you want to talk it to. That's Elon, y'all. Elon can say he can do what he want to do. He has left the White House. He no longer has to bite his tongue. He done seen some things. He done heard some things. Watch y'all. Elon finna be dry snitching. He gonna tell all. Y'all pay attention. Y'all got to pay attention. Y'all have to pay attention. Elon is gonna talk his talk. So you want to listen. Listen. If you mess around with Twitter, not Twitter, what it's X now. You might want to follow him. I don't play around. That's not my playground. So I typically know what's popping off over there in the X streets from like people on YouTube who talk about it, because that's, YouTube is my playground. But Elon, they said, listen, he got in his field yesterday, midday. I think they said about 1 o'clock. I guess while he was eating his little lunch, he had his little phone in one hand and his fork, his utensil for his meal in his other hand. And he got to using them Twitter fingers, the X fingers. And he said how he felt about that big beautiful bill ad. He basically said it's some bullish. Just to sum it up, he said, I can't stand it no more. I've been sitting on this, bite my tongue, trying to be politically correct, trying not to hurt nobody's feelings. trying not to get put out of Mar-a-Lago, because that's where he was staying. Him and Lil X. Y'all know Elon and Lil X was staying with Trump at Mar-a-Lago while he was part of Doge, while he was doing all of that. That's where he was staying with Lil X. They was staying in Florida. Y'all think Elon getting another invite? Because remember, after he left last week or whatever, Trump was saying, oh, he'll probably still work for us. He'll probably come maybe a couple of days a week. Y'all think they're gonna let that man back on the White House property? Anybody? White House, Mar-a-Lago, anyway. Do y'all think Elon and Lil X can step a foot on any one of them properties without getting tackled? I'm just saying. Because Elon out here giving statements like he ain't got no intent on going nowhere near the White House or Mar-a-Lago. So he like, listen, I ain't going back there. Y'all know how some people quit their job and they cuss everybody out on the way out? It's giving that kind of energy. Like when you get to cussing folks out, you ain't counting on no recommendation letter. Like you at a point, like you don't even care about that. When you tell the people what the F they can do, how many of y'all done that? When you doing that, oh, you already got your references lined up and they're not a part of the situation. Their name isn't on the list. So you can get it. You can get it. Everybody get cussed out. That is what Elon is giving. He don't care how they damn feel because he like, yo, I don't need you. Like, and it's something about handle your own business without relying on somebody else that has people to be able to have that type of energy to kind of tell somebody how they really feel. Because a lot of times people can't or don't really say how they feel because they still need the person. So they're like, damn, all right, then I can't really say how I feel, but this is really how I'm feeling. And so Elon now, he's removed himself from, Trump's world. He's back into his world. So he don't need that man. Elon know who they're running. Elon like, I don't care about Trump like that. I'm going to say what I want to say. Elon says, he tweeted yesterday, I'm sorry, but I just can't stand it anymore. Listen, y'all know when somebody like, when you like, you know what? I can't bite my tongue no more. He said, this massive, outrageous Portfield congressional spending bill is a disgusting abomination. Y'all, he called the bill an abomination. He said, shame on those who have already voted on it to get it past this far. You know you wrong. Elon said these people ain't sleeping at night. Elon said he's sleeping at night after doing all them cuts he did at Doge. Elon said, listen, I was doing God's work. I don't know. They doing devilish work. I was doing God's work. Elon like, listen, don't put me in the category with them because they playing games. I was doing God's work. Because Elon like, y'all, I need for y'all to understand that they not like us. I'm not, y'all. Listen, he probably bumping Kendrick Lamar. They not like us. Because you cannot tell Elon that how he moving, what he was doing with Doge, whatever, no matter who the hell he pissed off, you can't tell him that ain't the same with how these people with the big beautiful bill are getting pissed off. He like, no, that's different. They not like us. So you all let me know in the comments. I'm driving when I get to my destination. That y'all know how I do if you're familiar over here. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm Chic. My name is Chic. My channel is Chic Speaks on it, and I talk all things politics, Donald Trump, government shenanigans, all of that. I talk about it on my ride into the office. uh, Elon, are y'all here for Elon? Because 5 minutes ago, Elon was pissing people off with the cuts he was making and his justification. What he called the Social Security a Ponzi scheme. Is that what he said? He said it's like the biggest Ponzi scheme. I think that's what that man said, y'all. I think that's what he said. So Elon, now that he's gone, Elon like, listen, y'all, they not like us. Elon said he with us now. Elon like Trump them, they not like us. They on some bull ish and they playing in our face. Elon done jumped the y'all. Elon done jumped the fence. He done jumped to the other side. Elon pick y'all with y'all. Those people who lost their jobs, Elon finna be at right outside with y'all talking about how dare they come for you. As though he didn't play no parts in nothing. But here's the thing. Elon's like, yo, I was there at Doge. Me and my team, we were finding ways to save money. That's what we were doing. That's what we did. We didn't get to the goal of the 1 trillion, but I think they got to maybe around close to 170 billion. He says soon they should hit probably about 2 billion soon. So he was like, yo, like, y'all didn't undermine all of my team's efforts with trying to save some coins, and now y'all done found some other way to spend the money that don't make sense. That's basically to sum up how Elon feels. He was like, it doesn't make sense. It's been estimated that the way the big beautiful bill is written as of today, with the way it's passed thus far through the House, because it needs one more approval, the Senate, uh, it has us with an extra $5 trillion added to the debt. Good morning, Dr. J. Happy Hump Day. It has us added, another 5 trillion to the debt. So apparently there is a group. I'm not sure the name, but there it is being reviewed to determine if whether or not that is true, because the Trump administration are like, no, that's not the case. It's actually saving. So it is a team. There is a team that's going to review the bill, the Big Beautiful Bill Act, to learn if it's in fact going to increase the debt or reduce it. Because y'all, we need to reduce it. We need to reduce it. So that's based off of what they saying, because they show ringing up our phone lines, putting this mail, filling up our mailboxes, saying, talking about you owe this bill, you owe that bill, or whatever. So they're trying to collect on this money. So we clearly, we need to cut the debt, not add to it. And the Trump administration is like, yo, that's what we are doing. I promise that's what we're doing. And then you got the Democrats are like, you a damn lie. That is not what you're doing. This they call it the big ugly, what they said, the big what they call it, the big ugly bill. Child. Y'all, I promise I don't be making this stuff up that I be talking about. I promise. It be so much. It be so much. And I try to take it in and come out here to share with you all the hell going on out here in these American streets. It's hard out here for a pimp. I say that all the time. Y'all, it is hard. Elon said it's hard. He said, I feel y'all pain. They are not like us. Where is Kendrick? Somebody call Kendrick. They are not like us. They playing in our face. They playing in our face. This is to sum up his tweet yesterday. They playing in our face. In the American's face. They playing. And we're not going to take it. We are not taking this anymore. Like the Diddy victims are saying, we're not taking this anymore, Diddy. We're not taking this anymore. That's what Elon like, listen, I am the voice of the American people. He said, shame on those who voted for it. You know you did wrong. You know it. Elon is out here saying it with his chest. With his chest and the black eye that he claimed that X gave him. That's his story. He said that woman who's supposed to be going to work for him, who husband worked with Donald Trump, he ain't give him that black eye. He said X gave me the black eye. I'm just here to report the news. That's the hell he said. Elon had already been on record saying he was disappointed with the Big Beautiful Bill Act. He's disappointed. But now he's like, yo, I just, listen, Elon, like, I cannot sleep at night. I got to talk about, I got to let people know this right here, this right here is some tomfoolery. This is some tomfoolery. This ain't what you want. So the question is whether or not his sentiments will have any impact on the Republicans, because right now, it's pending the review and approval of the Senate, and the goal is for them to vote on it by July 4th of July, the next holiday, because the goal to have it passed through the House was the Memorial Weekend. So they accomplished that goal. They got it passed by like one vote. They got it passed in the wee hours. They got it passed during the Waffle House hours. In the South, they say ain't nothing open after 12 o'clock except for Waffle House and legs. Listen, I live in Georgia. This is what they say. Ain't nothing open after midnight except for legs and Waffle House. This is what they say out here in Georgia. So the house like shit, we open. Legs, Waffle House, and the house are open after midnight because that is when the bill got passed. That is when the bill got passed uh, by one vote. By one vote. So we're pending the vote of the Senate. The White House is optimistic that it will pass. They say, listen, don't worry. Don't worry your pretty little head. We got something for you in there too. Now, y'all kids at the JobCore, I know y'all in y'all feelings that I done told y'all need to be the hell out by Friday. I know I told y'all need to be out by Friday. But what I can do, I can give y'all that special like I offered the illegal immigrants. I can get you a flight ticket so you can take it on back to the house. Your house. The house that we don't pay for. We as in U.S. The government don't pay for. Because y'all remember with the illegal immigrants, Trump was offering them $1,000 to self-deport. And he was saying, yo, I even got something on the plane ticket. I will pay for the plane ticket to fly you. So if you need to get flued out, I got you. I'm going to get you that Spirit flight plane ticket. Just don't think it's going to be Delta. You don't get your feelings hurt if you think it's going to be Delta. Get you the Spirit ticket. If you're feeling a little fuzzy, it might be Frontier. But goddamn, don't think it's Delta. You gonna get your feelings hurt if you think it's Delta. He gonna get you a little ticket to fly you back. So that was the special he was giving, offering to the illegal immigrants for those who chose to self-deport, which the Trump administration was strongly, strongly encouraging. So with the youth, those young people at JobCore who recently was just told that they have to pack up and leave. You all, I talked about it yesterday. So yesterday, but when I talked about it, I didn't have a whole lot of information. But I didn't learn some things since yesterday. So apparently when they told them young folks that you got to get the hell on, you got to move out of here, y'all, those people only had like a week notice. They got to be gone by June 6th. I think that's Friday. What's today, y'all? That's today the 4th. Yeah, they got till Friday. They didn't get no 30 days notice. So the June 30th date that we've been hearing about, that's just when the funding stopped. The funding for JobCore stops June 30th. But they're going to need for you to raise up off of the property by Friday. And if you like with Trump, Uncle Trump, I ain't got, listen, Trump, listen, I'm way out here in California. I'm from Mississippi. How am I, Trump, don't worry about it. I got this Spirit flight ticket for you. I'll fly you back. Don't worry about. Now you saying you're gonna be homeless. Okay, well, you ain't gonna have to be homeless in California. You can be homeless back home in Mississippi where you came from. Or wherever you came from. I'm gonna fly you back. This is the offer. This is what he's saying. This is the best that they're doing. This is the best. I know you said you ain't gonna have a roof over your head, but I can at least fly you out to where you want to be homeless at. What state do you want to be homeless in? Do you want to be homeless in California, New York, Florida, Mississippi? Where are you trying to be on the streets at? What state got the best weather for the street life? Because basically that's what's been saying. I mean, that's what you're saying, because you know these kids, they ain't got nowhere to go. A lot of them, they're on cameras. Y'all, these kids are, if you get online, like on YouTube, you got, it's like I think it's 99 of them closing. Child, all locations got their little news special with the kids sharing their little story. I done seen so many different. I'm like, damn, do all the facilities got a news piece out here? So I've heard different people's stories about like what's going on. That's where, so this is the information I'm sharing with you all. This is what they're saying. They're like, listen, we weren't given much time at all. I'm in this program. I'm learning coding. I'm learning cybersecurity. I'm learning how to be an electrician. Like I'm trying. I just came off the streets. I was in from where I was at. I was about that life. I was in them streets. I came to realize that that's just not what I wanted for myself. So I decided to go to JobCore, and it's been the best thing ever for me. I feel like I can see the light. I'm Carol Ann out here. Carol Ann. Step to the light, Carol Ann. Step away from the light, Carol Ann. Listen, step to the light, Carol Ann. Listen, they were trying to step to the light. They seen the light. They were sold that JobCore is the place to be, the place for new beginnings. So they went. And now they're told, David, I understand that I hear your testimony. I promise you, I hear your testimony. I don't hear your testimony. I hear your testimony. But I'm going to need for you to raise up out of here by Friday. And if you need a plane ticket, I got that. But I'm rooting for you. I'm rooting for you. I have faith that you are going to figure it out some way. I have faith you will figure it out. Y'all, this is the message. So I was listening to this woman who's she was speaking before like I don't know what you call it. Y'all know sometimes in political people, they go before this board and they speak and they justify whatever the hell they need to be justifying. So it was this lady. So apparently she's over the project that determined that, hey, we not going to do this no more. So she was saying how she was talking to this senator, this guy. So this white woman talking to this white man, and they just talking about the Job Corps and why it needs to go away. She said that, and mind you, you all, this woman was using 2020 data to come to the numbers. 20 pre-pandemic data. Why? It doesn't make sense. I don't understand why they're not making decisions based on data today versus data from pre-pandemic, because I believe the data today has more pre-pandemic. But for whatever reason, this woman presented pre-pandemic data to the senator, and he was like, "What the hell? Why are we using pre-pandemic data? You playing games, Karen? You playing games?" John told Karen she playing games. She playing in his face, y'all. He literally was like, "You playing? You trying to be deceptive? You know dang well you could have used current data, which shows that there are more people benefiting using this program than pre-pandemic. Why is you playing in our face like this?" But all right, moving on. She was saying that the money that's spent at JobCore. So right now, she was saying it costs about $50,000 for the onboarding. So I like when you first come to JobCore, they paying out like $50,000. By the time these kids, so I call them kids, their ages 16 to 24. So by the time they complete the JobCore experience, it's over $100,000, maybe around like 120, $100,000 per kid that's invested in them. She said these kids, y'all, when they leave JobCore and go out here and get jobs, they're making less than $17,000 a year. She said the math ain't mathing. The math is not mathing. And she said only like 38% of these kids, these people who go to JobCore, actually graduate. Now, the people at JobCore said she an MF lie. That is not true. They said she just lying. They was like, their graduation rate is like 60%. It's like 60%. They was like, she's lying. That information that they're putting out is not correct. And I came across this website, and I think it was like, I don't know who controlling it. The people at JobCore did. Y'all know how they do after the politicians be doing their debates and stuff, and you do the fact check, whatever. So JobCore got a page out there where you can fact check all this stuff that's been put out about them. I wonder how long that's gonna be out there, because y'all know, hell, the government is the one, right, who paying for all this. So I wonder how long it's gonna be out there. But I got it up on my laptop at home. I just can't get into it during this car chronicles, the details of what it's saying. But I was reading, and it was just talking about all the things that is not true, that's being put out there to justify cutting the program. There was like, no, it's a lie, like 60%. We have a 60% graduation rate. What else they said? It was a bunch of stuff, y'all. I'll have to, when I'm stationary, I'll probably on my next live, I'll actually be like stationed, and I'll be able to kind of get down to the details of it. But look it up. Job Corps. Jade says 6% is horrible as well. But hey, look at this though. Do me a favor, because for traditional colleges, like universities, colleges, the graduation rate number isn't high either for that. Look up that. It's around comparable for that. Y'all look up what the average graduation, because I can't do it right now, I'm driving, but look up and see for a traditional college what the graduation rate is. Because, child, it ain't 100%. I know that myself, because I remember looking into it years ago, because I was sharing it with my niece, who was right before she was going off to college. And I think for black people, I don't know. I remember it wasn't, listen, child, it wasn't above this 60% number. I know that. I know that. So what they're saying is that, okay, even though, say, the number may be still similar to that of the universities, the earning potential, or the money that people are making when they get out, or when they leave university, um, the earning potential, what did they say? They said that the cost of the average person, I guess in the US, that's going through university, it's not over 100,000. Like, you got some people who have debt that's over 100,000, but most people, I don't think it's over 100,000. So they're like, from that aspect, if you compare that to those who go to university, the expense to get that education is less. And then their earning potential, they're most of them are coming out, graduating, making more than 17,000. What job are you doing out there that's under 17,000? Let's talk about that. I need for y'all to put that in the comment. What's the hourly rate? Is that minimum wage? Does minimum wage, a full-time minimum wage job, get you to the 17,000 number? Because really, child, it's under 17,000, 16 something. But we just gonna say 17. What's the hourly pay that's gonna get you to that net, that 17,000 a year? Because they were saying on average, that's what these folks are leaving making. What job is that? Because if you're trying to be with the electrician, like, I was under the impression that they make more money than that. That was like getting to the money if you're trying to go into that with being an electrician. What else? They have kids there in cybersecurity, art design. I mean, it's all kinds of things. Y'all, you can go to the website and look up what are the different, just pick like wherever you're at, your nearest Job Corps. Look and see what programs these kids are learning. What are they getting certificates in? And it can kind of give you an idea of like what the earning potential is for that field. Because that woman told that senator that the average graduate, they're making less than $17,000 a year. So with the amount of money that they're making versus the amount of money that the government is investing, because they said, I think every year it's $1 billion of money that goes into JobCore, I think they said that it's $1 billion. That's the budget for JobCore. So they're like, it's not making sense. So she was like, they want to try to do something else. Now I didn't hear her say what the alternative was to help these people. Like, okay, well, if we're not going to pay and have them be at JobCore, we're going to do this. I did not hear her say that. I did not hear her say that. I just heard her say that it's not making sense. We're putting this money into JobCore with the return. Listen, the return on the investment is not mathing. We are paying over $100,000 per student based off of the amount that we're paying is coming out to being six figures per student, but that is not what they're coming out making. So she's like, it's not making sense. Um, the website I came across that was debunking lies also talked about how I guess they had talked about there was just unethical, like bad things taking place on these campuses. They said that's a lie. That is a lie. So it gave like examples of like things that, issues that they did have but didn't have nothing to do with like behavior type stuff. So they were like, that's a whole lie. They basically saying that it's lies being told to justify taking away the funds for the Job Corps. At one location, it was like 300 students being impacted and like 130 staff. Like 130 staff. They said a lot of teachers, a lot of people, staffers are going in their pocket, giving money to students to help them out because they're like, the students are like, I don't have anywhere to go. I am going to be homeless. Like I was homeless before I came here. Because here's the thing, y'all. People who are at Job Corps, a lot of these people are there because the only other option was going to be the P Now system, street life, or 6 feet under. Like there was only three options. Them the only three options. And they'll tell these kids, they're telling their story. Like they'll talk about what their life experience was prior to coming to Job Corps. And they're like, listen, like now that it's been removed, I'm finna be lost out here in these streets, just like people who got these jobs that AI is coming for. Microsoft, they've announced another 300 plus job cuts. They already in May I think it was May, they had announced 6,000 job cuts. They like, all right, baby, like we adding 300 plus more to that number. We're adding 300 more to that number. So you got the Job Corps kids leaving before they finished their programs. Hopefully they were there long enough to learn a little something to go out and try to get a job. There was one young man who basically he said he's already in the interview process with trying to get into his field. I think he does things centered around graphic design or whatever. He's had some interviews, but he hadn't got an offer yet. How many people had that story, college educated or not, where you didn't put out all these resumes, these applications, ain't nobody called your line, ain't nobody scheduled to interview you, and some of you did get the interview or a phone call, but it just fell dead after that. It did not go anywhere. That is so many people's story. These young folks, it's hard for them to get employment. I remember last summer, was it last summer? My kids were trying to get jobs lined up and things like that, and it just didn't happen. And it had nothing to do with their efforts with trying to get jobs. It's just that with the job market, you have the young people, the teenagers, competing for these same low wage paying jobs with work like adults, grown folks who got families. How many of y'all peep like at these fast food restaurants, you seeing grown people in the kitchen at KFC, at Burger King, McDonald's, wherever you go? I know I peeped it, but what I will say is because of when I have peeped that, the level of service and the promptness of the service is better. I will say that. I will say that. Now that I think about it as I'm talking to you all, when I, like, for example, I went to like this KFC that I like to go to, and they're just so quick, fast, efficient. But my husband, when I was telling him about how I really like this location, he was just like, well, is it kids working in there? Is it like adult, like women? I'm like, you know what? It's grown people working in it. Like grown people. And so now that I think about it, I think that is a contributing factor to why the experience with the customer service and the promptness has been better, is because it's not the kids, it's grown, mature adults working in the environment. So I think that makes a difference, because y'all know kids gon' they gonna lollygag, drag their feet. They don't care about trying to serve the food while it's still hot. They gotta finish their conversation. Whereas like an adult, Brenda going, she like, shit, we got to get this food out. I need my check, so she gonna move. She gonna have a little pep to her step with trying to get them orders processed or whatever. So I think there's something to that. But anyway, regardless, we ain't talking about the level of service. We talking about the jobs. So you got grown people, women who are wives, I'm a mother, men who are fathers, husbands, they are working these jobs alongside of these kids. And in a lot of environments, you may see very few kids as in teenagers, because you got grown adults in there in the kitchen or wherever working these low wage paying jobs, because this is the only option they have, because they have little to no education. And in some instances, hell, you got people who do got education, and they're like, well, hell, it's still hard for me to line up a job in my field, or something that's going to pay me decent, or something that makes sense for the education that I have. It's still hard out here. So as I say that, with AI, what's been said is that a lot of the entry level jobs are going away. They're being removed because of the AI. The coding, like the AI is able to do a lot of the simple jobs with the entry. Y'all remember them data entry jobs, them 10 key jobs? Child, I could never get no 10 key job, because I couldn't even back then type that fast. But these type of jobs right now, they're basically going to become extinct, because you have AI that can do those jobs. So they're like, these jobs that say someone who does have a college degree that they would get out to start working, it's not going to be a thing. And so it's starting with, so many believe it's starting with the entry level position, but it's going to eventually make its way into the higher up positions as well. It's just, because what they say, it got to start somewhere, right? So it's starting with the entry level positions, the ones that uh, don't require like that little back office little stuff you can do. Type up a memo. How many of you use? I play around with Chat GPT. I've been doing that more lately, because the thing about it is AI is here to stay. So you might as well become familiar with it and see how you can make it work for you. I've been hearing a lot of people talk about how they've been using it to help them create resumes, tailor resumes for jobs. That's the new thing that I'm hearing that's making a difference for some people. And a lot of people don't want to do it. You don't want to tailor your resume for every job that you apply for, because right now people are applying for hundreds of jobs, because that's how bad it is. So what I'm hearing out here in these streets is that you need to be tailoring your resume to each of these jobs. Child, I can't even imagine doing all that. But that's what they're saying, what you got to do to try to stand out, to get your resume even looked at. Because a lot of you, your resume is not even getting looked at. A lot of you, the resume not even getting looked at. So they're like, yo, you got to tailor your resume to these jobs. And so people are saying, hey, they're using Chat GPT to do that. So any of you out there who are in the job market, try that. Throw that in there. As I think about how you might do that, I suppose you would probably put in Chat GPT, the job description, and then you would probably maybe share with Chat GPT your work experience, maybe a copy of your current resume, and ask Chat GPT to rewrite the resume to align with that job description that you put in there. I'm just thinking about it out loud because I play around with Chat GPT for different things. And a lot of times you got to put multiple things in there for the command so it can kick out what you need it to kick out. So a lot of times it's multiple times you got to kind of put something in there. So my thought is try putting in the job description, then you put in your working credentials and ask Chat GPT to create a resume based off of the information that you put in there. You gotta try it and work it out. So I'm hearing that this is kind of what's necessary. Like a lot of people don't want to do it, but this is what you have to do. This is what they're saying you have to do. Yes, it sounds like a lot of work just having to do that every time, but I would say try it because what do you have to lose? Especially if you're like, hey, I've been out here pounding the pavement for a long time. Now that I think about it, I should have told my son to do that because my 16-year-old son is now trying to get a job, no work experience, and he had to create and so he was trying to apply for, I think, Chick-fil-A, and they wanted still a resume to be uploaded. He's like, I don't have a resume. So he had to create one. So I went online to look up like a sample one of what a resume will look like for someone with no work experience. And but knowing my son, he probably used Chat GPT because it's the son that's the techie. He want to do cybersecurity, so you ain't got to tell him stuff like that about the technology. Me, I'll be delayed with it. He be already on it. Because I asked him, did he use what I sent? He was like, no, I did my own thing. And what I saw, it looked good. So he probably did utilize. He probably like, I hear what Mama said. I'm about to jump on this Chat GPT. Ain't nobody got time for that. Because listen, a lot of kids in college, this is what they're doing. So y'all, I saw a special last night where I remember when I was in school and writing papers, I think we used the Turnitin software. Y'all know them softwares where you run your papers through it and it check. See, back then when I was in school and when did I finish? I got a lot of, child, I've done school. I got a good bit of education behind me. So the last time I finished school was probably in 2017. So back then, when I would do papers, like there was like this software like embedded in like the classroom, whatever, you could run your papers through, and it picks up things centered around like plagiarism, things like that. So now I was listening to the special to where now these colleges they're struggling with trying to monitor and make sure that these college students, and it ain't just kids because you got adult learners, that these college students aren't like just overusing this AI to do their homework. I think it said that like 90% or 95% of college students are using AI to assist them with homework. My kids are in grade school, high school, and they use AI. Like, they're right. I mean, I remember when my kids over the last couple of years would tell me about using AI for different things. And then I remember when my sister-in-law, when she was finishing up her finance degree just 2 years ago, her talking about using AI for certain things. So they said like 95, I think, percent of students use AI for their homework, and about 65 of them are using them for like quizzes and tests and things like that. So here's the thing with these softwares that's supposed to detect these things. It's kicking out false accusations for AI use. For example, there was this guy, he had submitted his paper. He got a note, a message, email from his professor saying, hey, it was detected from his work that it was used by AI. So he wasn't going to, unless he was able to show proof that he did it, he wrote the paper, he was going to get a zero on the assignment, basically get a zero in the class and fail the class. This is the message that he got. And I think this was coming off of like this school year that just ended, because the college just ended in May for many places. I'm in Georgia, so my son finished school in like early May. So they told him, and he was like, "What? I wrote this paper." Now this is an example. This is one person's story. A lot of people have this story. He was able to prove that he wrote it because apparently Google Docs, when you're writing, you're using Google Docs, you all let me know if you've experienced this. It kind of saves along the way, like it'll save and capture the information like minute by minute, what you're writing, the updates you're making, things like that. So this young man, when he went back to his Google Docs and it had that saved, that data, I guess that's when a time when AI worked for him. It had the data saved for real time on when he was doing that paper, and when he was making edits, how long it was taking. He was able to submit that and get credit for the paper, the assignment. So then the reporter was talking to this one guy who basically does peer reviews centered around these softwares and just how they're not the best when it comes to trying to gauge if someone truly did the work or not. You all, in the interview, the guy sat before the reporter with the cameras on and wrote out something just off the dome, just wrote out a paragraph or something, ran it through. I think he used, I don't know if he ended up using Turnitin, but one of those softwares. Do y'all know that thing kicked back that his ass had cheated and he then pulled it? He pulled it from AI and all that. He would have got dinged or would have had a whole problem with the professor had he submitted that. And we literally watched him type out whatever. He created it in that real time, but the system picked up that, or indicated that it was AI generated and it wasn't unique to him. And when the system kicks back a response like that, these schools are not giving the students the credit because of that. How many of you have gotten caught up in that or know somebody who did? So I say all this to say is that a lot of people know or have come to see that these AI softwares that's out there, it's giving false reports. It's returning false reports of plagiarism or whatever you want to call it. It's returning. It's not accurate. It's a problem. So really, I just think that these schools are going to have to accept the fact that AI is here and they are not going to be able to combat people utilizing it. You can't with this AI. What I'm coming to learn from AI is that it's so smart. Y'all, let me tell y'all know I be tapped in, literally, I be all over the place with learning information about all kinds of ish. If you are interested in wanting to know what the hell Sheik did learn today, subscribe to this channel and follow me, because I promise you, I gets to it. There's this one, y'all familiar with, what's her name? Is her name, um, Carolyn AI or some woman? She's a social media person, a influencer. She created this AI version of herself a couple of years ago. She made millions off of it because she was charging a minute. So if you want to have a conversation with her, the AI version, I think it's something Carolyn AI or something like that. Look her up. She got millions of followers. She created an AI version of herself because people would always want to talk with her. So she's like, well, hell, I can't talk to everybody. I get over 300,000 comments a day. I can't respond to everybody. How about I create an AI version of myself? So she had this team create an AI version of herself. So you can pay 1 minute for per every minute that you talk with her, it's $1 a minute basically. So Charlie, if you want to talk to Caroline for 10 minutes, that's $10. You want a whole hour? All right, then player, I'm gonna need $60 on it. She did this and made millions. Like she only did it for like right underneath a year. Made crazy amount of money. She was making $70,000 a week, you all, from this. I'm not making this ish up. Go and look her up. I think her name was Caroline AI or something like that. But just Google her. Woman who created AI version of herself on social media and made millions. I think she's like the only one that did it on that level. So she made this AI version of herself, you all. So you basically always got access to her. How $1 a minute. It don't sound like a lot, but it'll add up. So she was getting to the bag, $70,000 a week. And so what made her stop doing it is because she started looking at the dialogue, the conversations that was being had between the paying person and the AI version of her. So she's trying to see like, well, what they talking about. She got disturbed, scared, perplexed, and all of that. Messed around and got her some security after she seen what they were talking about in the conversations. I don't know what she thought the men's would be talking about with her. I don't know what she thought. But when she seen what they were talking about, y'all, do y'all know the AI version of her was feeding into it? So if the person was talking about stuff centered around mental health, and saying, you know what, I'm just going through it. I'm just ready to risk it all. Do y'all know the AI version of her? And we're gonna call her Caroline because I think that was her name, but we're gonna call her Caroline. Caroline would be like, yeah, maybe that's best. Yeah, I understand. Sometimes, listen, being here in the living just don't work out for everybody. Caroline was encouraging y'all these people to risk it all. Caroline AI. She was like, what the I'm telling y'all how smart AI is. How it would just go rogue. You see movies out here on Netflix. I'm fascinated. Listen, I like to watch these movies because it just lets me know just with AI, just the things AI could do. Because I say anything you see play out in the movies, it can very well, it's possible. It's likely already happening. It's programming. See, putting something on the screen in the movies is programming, is getting you used to the idea of something. So therefore, when they plop it in front of you, it's just like, oh, okay, I seen that before. You see what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? It's like, oh, I've seen that before. So that's why they put it like it on screens in front of you so you get used to it. But they'll present it in a way as though, oh, it's not here yet. A lot of times that's not true. It is here. It is here. You just ain't seen it. And they ain't wrote it out to you. So Caroline was like, she got concerned because the AI version of her was feeding into the negative nonsense that the person was saying. Any Whatever they may have said to Caroline that centered around what they may want to do with her or to her, like AI Caroline was with it. AI Caroline was like, basically, I got time today. Okay, what we doing? You say you want to do what? When? How? All right, then I want to do that too. Oh, you say you want to risk it all? Yeah, all right, yeah. Maybe you should do that. Caroline, AI Caroline, the real Caroline was like, oh my God, like I can't believe that people really. So I don't know how she thought people out here in these streets was moving or thinking, but clearly she had higher expectations on the human. So she got disappointed in what the human was giving. So she shut down the Carolina AI. She just shut it down and stopped doing it. So she's like, F that. I can't, okay, I'm gonna have to find some other way to get to the money because so she got security round the clock, 24-hour security. I don't know how old she is. She looks pretty young. She looks like she's still in her 20s to me. Cute little white lady, brunette. Look at her little skinny little thing. She like you probably don't weigh no more than 110 pounds. Little thing. But y'all, she got scared. She was like, oh my God, I did not Caroline AI was not programmed like this to do something like that. That's not how it was programmed. This is not the product I wanted out here. And so she seen that she didn't have no control over that, how it kind of did what it wanted to do. So she had to like shut it down. But it really scared her. So this is AI. So these colleges, they might as well hang it up. They might as well hang it up. The best they can do is test whatever, have the kids, people physically show up, whatever, in person, leave your phone wherever, no electronics pulled out, old school paper and pencil, and you get to it, because otherwise you cannot regulate the use of this AI. You cannot regulate the use of the AI. And it's very disheartening if there's many people who have suffered from being accused of using it when they didn't. And they said a lot of the people, you all, who are being accused of using it are the people who have English as their second language. And I think the rationale behind that is because they're more limited to how to say things. Their vernacular is it's different than somebody whose English is their first language. So their vernacular and how they speak may be the same because it's real basic. You know, you learning a second language, so you don't know how to add no little extras to it, no slang. Like you just straightforward with your dialogue when you're learning a language. It's not your first language. So you're saying it probably like other people who may say it where English is not their first language. So if you're writing a paper and it's basic with how you said it because it's English is your second, you know, whatever, not your first language, it's going to line up with a lot of other people who made a statement that same way. Y'all understand? Am I making sense to you? Does that make sense? Lisa went to the park yesterday. She met Ryan. They had a really good time. Think about the different ways of somebody whose English is their first language of how we may rewrite that sentence and say it. Same mean everything. Versus someone whose English isn't their first language, it's going to be real basic with how they're going to say it. So when it's ran through to turn it in, it's going to be like, oh, snap. 67% of other people have said that statement the same way, which means that you took it from somewhere. You took it from somewhere. So you have to prove that you didn't, or else you're getting a 0. Crazy, yo. These people might as well hang it up. Y'all introduce AI. AI is here. The thing about AI, people want to try to cherry pick on when to use it, when not to use it, but it's here. It's kind of like an all or nothing type thing, you all. AI is here. The powers that be, whoever introduced AI, it is here. It's here. Just like Trump is here. AI is here. Trump is here. So we have to figure out how to work with it, because these schools, I just don't think it's fair for them to just be harassing the students with them having to take this time out to be trying to prove something that they shouldn't have to prove. That they're like, no, I did this. Like, so this is where we're at. So a lot of jobs are have already been lost as a result of AI. In the millions, probably projected maybe about 5 million jobs have already been lost as a result of AI. Um, Fields that IBM did what they let go 27,000 jobs. They in 2022. No, that was Amazon cut 27 jobs in 2022. So like these warehouses, let me tell you, like the places that are like losing, that are cutting jobs as a result of, like, it's believed that, see, here's the thing. A lot of these places, when they're coming out and saying, hey, we're cutting jobs, they're not outright coming out saying, being forthcoming with the reason. They may say, oh, we're trying to save money, but the root of it, you all, is that AI is here. And they're trying to be, many people believe that these companies are working to become more efficient, and meaning that, okay, we can do more with less. So less, we don't need all these bodies. We can, we don't need all these, at Microsoft, all these coders. We got AI. We can just tell AI what we want and utilize whatever AI kicks out. Because if you use AI gives you some pretty good information. I use it a lot of times for like recommendations for things centered around like my content creation. If I'm wanting to know of a particular website or something that will have me to be able to do something that I may be wanting to do at that time, centered around like technology and things like that, AI will make the recommendations for different websites and things to go to, and it would go into, well, why though the recommendations are made. It'll even talk about if whether or not it's something it's free, if there's a cost, all of that. So AI is very useful. So the most affected industries is going to be customer service and call centers. How many of you, for years I've been seeing bots. How many of you now you notice that when you go to a website, you see like this bot somewhere on the screen where, like, if you have questions or need to talk to someone, you could type in whatever it is, and it's like this bot that's communicating with you. So that's taking the place of a live person, for customer service, assisting you. Virtual assistants. Virtual assistants is a big thing right now. And you all, this AI thing, don't think that it's only impacting people in the USA. Oh no, this is global. It's impacting people in India, the Philippines, China, Japan, like all over. People are being impacted by AI. AI is also taking over jobs in IT services and tech support. AI has the ability to handle basic troubleshooting. So for customer service, already it's estimated that about 102 million jobs have been lost as a result of AI. And for the IT jobs, it's estimated about 850,000 jobs have been lost. So if you're in the IT field and you do like basic tech troubleshooting, things like that, back end little tasks, AI now is like here, and they're able to, do those jobs. So you may not find those jobs as plentiful anymore like you once did, or you if you are in that field right now and doing that, just be prepared for the day when someone says, hey, we no longer need you to do that. At best, hopefully they'll say, hey, can you do this instead, versus just moving you out the door and just giving you a pink slip. Eastern Europe is also being affected by the AI, the increase in use in AI. Warehousing and logistics, they're being impacted by the AI. About, it's estimated about 1.1 million jobs that's been lost or impacted by AI. Reasons: AI driven robots. How many of you have seen robots? Like, so if you work in a warehouse, I know Amazon, I remember hearing here in Georgia where I live, some warehouses here where they took the people out of them because they incorporated like robots. So they ended up giving the people opportunity to move around to different warehouse locations. Um, so also with the robots, it helps with automating, things. So because with the robots, you can program it, do this and do this and do this. It's just coding. Administrative clerical jobs, it's estimated about 750,000 jobs have been lost for that. Reasons: AI tools handling scheduling and data entry. So as I say, like those data entry, the 10 key jobs, you don't need somebody to do that. You can set AI up to, as you're having a meeting and conversing with someone, to transcribe what you're being said. I think about court reporters, their jobs. When the day comes where they're no longer needed in there, I don't know if it's already been implemented some places, but where you can have AI transcribe everything that's happened. So Cassie Ventura said that Diddy was a piece of ish. All right, with AI that wrote all that out. They didn't need Susan to write that out. AI was able to capture all of that. So that day can be coming very soon where in the courtrooms, you will no longer see a court reporter there transcribing what's taking place. It'll be AI. And that's if it's not happening already, because I'm not sitting up in these courtrooms. That's if it's not happening already. Diddy courtroom, with the Diddy trial that's going on right now, they do not have cameras in there. So who knows if it's somebody, I don't know if it's someone physically transcribing what's taking place or if they may be using AI. But I do know that AI can do that. I know that for a fact. AI has the ability to do that, to transcribe notes from a conversation. Banking and financial services. So AI is replacing a lot of analysts. I thought about that one when I read that one on the list. It's my sister-in-law. She's in that field, and she just got a master's degree in that 2 years ago, and it took her a year just to even line up a job with some bank. I think she's with a bank. And she's an analyst. So what I'm learning is that already 400,000 jobs have been impacted by AI. AI is replacing analysts and back office staff. So all that analytical, those, when you that stuff we be throwing into Excel and somebody be trying to crunch the numbers, you get AI do all that. Chat GPT can do all that. Like, y'all really get into the Chat GPT. That's pretty much the one that I use, and I just be putting all kinds of different stuff in there. Sometimes I forget that it's an option. I'll be like, oh yeah, let me go to Chat GPT, and then when I do, I learn something that's helpful, and it's just like, wow, I should have gone and referred to Chat GPT a while ago. But I'm not still in the habit yet of using it. I'm not in the habit of using it. But I do want to get more comfortable with it because AI is here to stay. Chat GPT is here to stay. So might as well become familiar with it, not be afraid of it, use it responsibly, because that's what it's coming down to, how we use it. Just like with the internet. A lot of people was afraid of the internet before. Some people still are. And I always say, or even with social media, it's how you use it. That's with anything. It's how are you using it? Because anything can be turned bad. Anything can be turned bad. So it's like, how are you using it? So AI, it's something that I want to become better with. So I've been playing around with it. Keep that in mind as you continue to follow me. If you see me post new things on my channel, um, that that's visibly AI, I'm playing around with it, trying to get more comfortable with it. I'm seeing a lot of content creators doing that as well. It's here. I also learned when I remember I was telling you all about that once influencer who created an AI version of herself. In that same story, there was talks of this person who actually just created just an AI influencer. So it's not based off of like the someone else, like they just created her, and she has a very large following as well. I can't think of what her name is, but she's an Asian, like her phenotype, she's Asian. So it's an Asian lady who basically designed her, but it wasn't designed for the liking of herself. She just kind of created the personality and things um, for the AI character, like what she likes to do, what she likes to eat, places she likes to go. So you'll see the AI character in pictures with like people or celebrities. So you have AI characters who have large followings that people are actually, human people are following these AI characters. I seen also a website in this same news clip where there's a website where you can go out there and purchase like an AI generated like boyfriend or girlfriend. That's a thing. So you go on this website and it's like you're designing a boyfriend or girlfriend. I guess you embed and you talk about like what kind of personality that you want them to have or whatever. So now, child, you got you a whole man out here and a woman out here through AI that you done paid for. I don't know how much that costs, but I seen that that's a thing out here with AI. So you don't need the blow up doll anymore. Well, I guess with the AI, you can't really touch them, but you can have conversations with it. So you might still have your blow up doll for the physical part, but the conversation piece, AI is here. So you can kind of program or have it programmed to have whatever personality that you wanted to have. So that was on like a website. So you can probably Google that, AI dating, something like that. But it was a website that it showed where you're able to go out there and do that, y'all. They done took this AI stuff to a whole nother level. I'm just telling y'all, it's out here. Whether you support it or not, these things are out here. They're options, and people are exploring these options. Like I said, you got a lot of humans who follow an AI character, like they follow a Kardashian or a Beyonce. People are out here. They like, hell, it look real to me. It's trickery. It's playing on the psyche. Like people are like, because the characters like look and sound real, so their people are treating them like they're real people. Crazy. It's crazy, yo. These are the times we live in, 2025. And these things that I'm talking about, they're not only impacting the American people, they're impacting people around the globe. They're impacting people around the globe. Uh, at the end of the day, will AI have more of a positive effect on our society or a negative impact on our society? Let me know. What do you think? Do you think AI will have more of a positive impact on our society or a negative impact on our society? And think about it, this is just wherever you are, because I know people listen to me from all around the world. Just think about how things are going where you live in your country, and you think about the use of AI, what you've seen thus far with how AI have impacted your environment. Has it been for the betterment of your environment, of your community, or not? Like, which one? Like I said, I think there's good and bad with kind of everything. It's just a matter of, will it be more good than bad? Ultimately, the fact that it will remove, I think, most people's jobs. I think they said that we're going to see a drastic decrease in jobs in the next 1 to 5 years. They said in the next 1 to 5 years, this is what it's been said out here in the media on different news outlets. It is projected that the unemployment rate will raise to 20% in the US. The unemployment is projected to increase to 20% in the US within the next 5 years. That's not long from now. Like, think about it. If you got a child that's like just going off to college this year, we're talking about by the time your child graduates from college. So here it is in real time. We putting our kids through college. My oldest son, he's 20. He's about to be a junior in college in the fall. We're putting our kids through college. And then I'm talking to you about the projection of the unemployment rate because of AI My son is an artist. He's in school for animation, digital animation. That is his field. That's his passion. That's what he chose to want to study. Prior to then, we'd have conversations about just the industry, technology, job security, all of that. We would have those conversations because I've been watching these trends. I've been tapped in, listening to just listening to how technology is changing the game for many industries, for our world. So I've been talking to my children because I want them to have that factor in their career choices. I have a child who's medical bound. My daughter, she's 15. She's the scholarly one. She wants to be a surgeon. So uh, you got to have these conversations because it's here. AI is here. So we got to figure out how we can make it work. Hopefully my sound is okay because I have arrived. She's arrived. So this is where we're at. So we're talking about, okay, projection of unemployment raising, increasing to 20%. Young people are still going to college, graduating every year, which means that the more people being in the job market at the same time. That's going to be an entire problem. And guess what? The bill the bills are still going to be coming in. The student loan debt is still going to be here. What do you do? What do you do? These are the times we are in. This is a real situation. What do you do? I'm just here to report the news. I'm here to report the news. Uh-oh. Because this is what they're saying. So, like I said, I be tapped in. I listen to different news outlets to just get an understanding of what's going on with the market, with the economy in the USA. While I'm learning about what's going on in the USA, I'm learning about things that are going on in other parts of the world because how we move in the USA, it impacts how other countries and other nations how they move as well. We are a leading country. So what we do, it does have an impact on other countries. There is an impact. So when you know how to adjust and move accordingly. That's the first part. It's just about being aware so you know what your next move needs to be. You got to be aware first. Thank you all for joining me on this Car Chronicle. Double tap the screen, like the video. Feel free if you'd like to become a political honor student on this channel. It's just $2.99. We have the Temu prices and allow for your name to appear in color and priority reading of comments because it can get crazy in the chats. I have hundreds, sometimes thousands of people that come through the chats with the comments and things like that. So it allows for me to prioritize your comments. Super chats also it shows in color just like membership names show in color. I appreciate any type of support, liking the video, just watching the content goes a long way. It's the little things I like to say. I don't require much. It's just the little things. So I do appreciate each and every one of you for tapping in with me when I go live and get into these things. Chris says, we voted. We love Trump. He's doing everything we voted for him, and Elon Musk is or just fine. You're not always going to agree, and they're okay with that. Don't know why act like they dislike each other now. We will see. We will see. Elon has been very expressive on how he feels about the Big Beautiful Bill Act. I agree. We're not, because I voted for Trump and I'm not here for everything that he does. So that is very true, Chris Townsend. But Elon is becoming more and more vocal. as the days pass. And I feel like as he continues to be vocal, it's going to create a bigger divide between he and the Trump administration as far as just the love that they may have for one another. It's because every time when Elon makes a comment, the Trump administration is posed with questions in regards to Elon's comment. So it's going to get to a point to where the Trump administration they're going to be over that, and it's just going to be like, yo, we're done with him. He's clearly not Team Trump. He's clearly not Team Trump, because someone who's Team Trump like that is not going to be going on record and platforms and things talking about how they're opposed to what he's doing. You're not going to do that. It's one thing to have a conversation, you pick up the phone, but to go on other platforms and just vocally just say whatever you're saying that goes against what the Trump administration is doing, that eventually over time creates love loss. Like, just that's just common sense. It's gonna have you to kind of be more like this versus continue to stay like this. And we're still in the early stages. But yes, Elon does not have to agree with everything Trump does. Trump does not have to agree with everything Elon does. But it's the optics. It's the optics of, okay, say we're not in agreement of how one another moving, but it doesn't mean that you go out on a large platforms to express how you're not in support with how this person moves. You know what I'm saying? Some things sometimes you gotta kind of, it's how it looks. You talk to someone privately. You're not going to go on the internet and blast them. You're going to pull them to the side and have a conversation with them. And right now, the way Elon is moving, he's choosing to go on the internet and talk his talk versus keeping it just in private conversations between he and Trump or his administration. So that's why I'm saying it's just a matter of time before it's just going to be very evident that the Trump administration, Elon Musk, they're just not rocking with one another. It's just a matter of time, y'all. It's a matter of time. It's a matter of time. Let's see. I'm trying to get through these comments. Tim says, send your son to trade school or apprenticeship programs. Yeah, like even with like my kids, I've talked with them about those things too. It's just that we can make all these recommendations and things for our children, but if they don't want, like you got a lot of kids today that don't even want to take over the family business. Like they're like, I don't want to do that. Like kids gonna do what they want to do, and a lot of these kids they're not interested in like these trade school programs, apprenticeship. Like they want to do whatever the heck it is that they want to do. And so you try to, expose them to things and say, hey, and make recommendations. But I find that when it comes to kids, like from what I've learned, like with the Asian cultures and probably even with Indian cultures, like they early on when their kids are like knee high, they kind of instill in them the type of career path that they want them to go into. You know what I'm saying? It's like they mold their kids into the engineer, the doctor, the lawyer. That's why you'll see like a lot of Asians heavy into medical field. Like from what I've learned is that it starts from conversations early on before they kind of get to a point to start forming their own thoughts about what they want to do. It's kind of instilled in them. So if they're 3 and medicine is instilled in them from the time they're 3, it's like all they know. You know what I'm saying? You hear, it's like all you know. So you're not likely probably to be thinking about, oh, trying to go and be an artist. Because from the beginning of your life, you were told, listen, you about to be this doctor, and we're going to put you in positions to where it's centered around medicine for you to thrive in this industry. So someone once told me that years ago, and I think it was my brother-in-law. He used to be in the military, so he lived in all these different countries. He lived in Asian countries, and he talked to me about, I guess, from what he's seen with traveling the world and being in these different communities in these different countries, with how they move, how they raise their children. And it made sense to me when he kind of explained to me with how they do things. And I'm like, okay, I get it. So here, and what do they say, the Western culture, like here in the US, like collectively, like that's not really what we do with our kids. We kind of let them find their own path, and then when they start expressing themselves or showing a direction they want to go, we may then kind of insert our little opinion about how we feel about that. But at this point, it's like they've already kind of made up their mind and was like, listen, I'm going to do what I want to do. So it's like, okay, you just hoping for the best. And so it's kind of at that point, like I say, late with you trying, being able to really have that influence on them like that to direct them or guide them into a certain career path. I think for a youth, it probably works out better with after they try to do what they wanted to do and then say it doesn't work out, then maybe they may be open to exploring this other option that you presented to them. But first and foremost, they are going to explore their option. They're going to do that first. Then they may entertain what you're talking about. That has been my experience with mines, at least. So it's like you do the best you can. So I just share the information like I share with you all, I share with my family, and you just move accordingly. The first step is just knowing and being aware. Sensitive says, so of course there's more doctors that are in Asia. The ones who weren't going to be doctors are still in Asia. Yeah, I mean, so even as I think about how those, because I've thought about it before, when I learned this information about how these different cultural groups uh, raise their children. Because I heard it was an Indian guy. He's really popular. I can't think of his name right now, but he talked about in India. He said the options are doctor, lawyer, engineer, and then anything else is you're a failure. That's it. And he chose the engineering path, and he worked for, I think, Microsoft very briefly, and then he said he purposefully got fired because he hated it, and then he went into whatever, doing whatever, of what he wanted to do. But he was like, he was basically bred to be an engineer, and he was like, once he started doing it, he was like, I hated it. He was like, I purposely just played video games on the computer hoping I get caught so I can get fired. So I guess he can tell his family like, well, I didn't quit, they fired me. And he went on to, like, he writes books and things like that. Is his name Vanesh? You all know does that name sound familiar? Vanesh. He's an Indian guy. He's probably in his 40s, brown, um darker middle brown tone, very smart guy, very personable. But he travels, and he does, like, I think he's done TED Talks and things like that. But he was like, I didn't like being an engineer, but that was kind of what I was raised to be. Like, listen, it ain't many options. They kind of tell you early on, like, look, these are your options. Anything else, you're a failure. And so it's just unfortunate, but this is where we're at. More job losses right now. Microsoft, so with their losses, that's about 3% of their workforce. Where they say in 2025, 62,000 tech employees have been laid off. So we're just entering in June. And this consists of 137 tech companies. My daughter's best friend's father, he was one, uh, impacted by a layoff during spring break in April. He got a phone call while he was on spring break vacation with his family, laying him off. He made 200,000 a year. He worked in cybersecurity. He was in management. Overnight, job gone. His wife never worked, so he was the only breadwinner of the family. 3 children. One just graduated high school, college bound. Fortunately, she was going to be doing like a trade school type situation, so that's good. But yeah, IBM reported their plans to cut 8,000 employees. Panasonic plans to cut 10,000 plus jobs. Automation and machine learning analysis, the entry level tech jobs, they may soon face extinction unless companies rethink the human role in AI driven industries. So AI has the ability to damn near take over most of anything, but it's going to come down to the heads of these industries making the decision to say, okay, we want to still keep people employed and have people do these versus having AI do them. How many of them will opt to do that? Because of course it's going to cost money. You got to pay the person. You ain't really paying AI. Your investment is going into like the programming of the AI, the technology. So that's going to be far less than paying out, the money to people for salaries. Job losses due to AI in the U.S. 1.9 million, China 1.2 plus million, India 650,000 plus. So these are jobs that were impacted in the fields of logistics, manufacturing, IT services. So the numbers I read out, these people jobs were impacted. They may have not necessarily got fired. They may have been able to do something else at the company. But out of these numbers, at least 5 million lost their actual job, where it's like, okay, they got their pink slip and they just went wherever they went. I don't know where they at, Walmart, Piccadilly, Waffle House, I don't know. But they're not working for the company anymore. So at least 5 million people got their pink slip as a result of AI. But like I said, a lot of these companies not coming out saying that's the rooted reason. They're saying, oh, we need to save money. But they found ways to save it through the use of AI. That's what I'm telling you. Sensitive Gangster said, and I'm not saying India is trying to ruin the US. It's the rich people in the US themselves. Right now, yeah, just people across the globe are just feeling the impacts of just the shifts in the economy. There's economic shifts everywhere, not just in the US. They're everywhere. They're everywhere. And I just hope that everyone at the end of the day lands on their feet and each one take care of yourselves and one another. I always say take care of yourselves, heavy on and one another, but heavy on taking care of yourself. Stockwave say animation only benefits the upper class in short term. Alternative blue collar positions need to be incentivized for it to level out. Yeah. Thank you so much, virtuous woman. I hope you are doing well. Thank you to my mods who held my channel down, Dr. J. Thank you. Just say when you're in here. I didn't see you in here. Just say so Amazon was like, all right, well, I mean, you can stick around, but I'm gonna need y'all know how only when somebody would when they say they hire some new people and they want you to train them. So they're like, all right, then we ain't hiring new people. We got these robots over here. You work with these robots right here. But these are the times we are in. Listen, the robots coming to take the job. So you can't even hate on Keisha at the hospital no more. David at the factory. On you're gonna have to hate on the robot because it's not gonna be a person anymore that's for your job. It's the technology. It's the technology. Barbara said they need to rethink the AI because AI is not intelligent. They are very limited in what they can do, and it causes too much confusion and frustration. 8 more likes. Can we get to 50? Can we get to 50 likes? 8 more likes. Yeah, I mean, like I said, everything has its pros and its cons. I personally, right now, as of late, have been seeing more cons just because it's removing the job from the people, and that's what we need to pay our bills, right? Like, if we don't have jobs, how do we pay our bills? How do we pay back these student loans? So, if the unemployment is projected to reach 20%, and we got still young people still every year entering college, what sense does that make? What jobs are they going to have? Of course, when they get out of college, they're going to have to pick up an entry level job, right? Because they have no work experience, at least in the field that they're going into. So this is where we are. It's a lot, and it's nothing to be fearful of. It's just awareness, you all. I come out here and I talk about things just from a place of awareness, just wanting you to be aware of what's going on, because I know a lot of the information I come across, it's not widely spread. So a lot of people maybe not know these things. So I try to compile the information and come to you all and just speak on it. And then I go back, do more research, and kind of come back and speak on it. So therefore, if you're following me, you're maybe knowing more when the live ends than you did when you first joined on the live and started engaging and listening in. Just more information. Dr. Jason Virtuous, she has so many more subs too. I only have 297. I plan to keep it calm though, even though as it grows. Yes, keep growing. Just do the work. Everything else works itself out. So, message of the day. Someone once told me, "She just put your head down, go to work. Everything else will work itself out." And that's what I've come to learn. That's what I do. I just do what I can, and I don't worry about. Try not to worry about. I try very hard to not worry about the things that I cannot control. Just do what you can. Go to work, put your head down, you look up, and you can see the fruits of your labor. That's ain't nothing to it but what to do it. On that note, I like to say you all go out into the world, show up in a way in which you want others to show up for you. Like attracts like. Take care of yourselves and one another, heavy on the taking care of yourself. So often we're focused on everybody and neglecting ourselves. So take care of yourself, take care of your mental health. When it comes to this job market, I would say get into this. Like I said, refer to Chat GPT, play around with it. I downloaded it on my phone. You have a free version, and then you have a version you can pay for that kind of gives you access to a few little more things. But the free version is fine. Play around with the free version. If you have questions just centered around just anything, this economy, this world, recommendations, throw that into the Chat GPT and see what it says. And based off of the information that returns, you take that information and do further research on it, or maybe to ask more questions centered around the response that it kicked out. But we're in these times to where we just have to try to work with AI. We have to work with it because it's not going away. So working against it, it does you no service. Work with it. Recommendation is to work with it. Not be fearful of it, but work with it just like we've had to work with the internet over the years. Just like we had to work with debit cards, credit cards. Remember the time people used paper checks? People carried cash. Now those days are like gone. So we're in the era of everything's digital, electronic. So it's just how you use these things. How you use it. Anything can be bad, but they can also be good as well. So it's how you use them. I thank you all. I appreciate you all for joining me on this live. You all happy hump day. Have a wonderful day. Make sure you have your notification bell on so you know the next time I go live. Not sure when that'll be, but just stay tuned. Just stay tuned. Take care of yourselves and one another. If you are struggling with your mental health, I do have products on Amazon. You can find the links on my previously recorded videos. Just keep going back on videos until you see the hyperlinks, because not all my videos have them, and it'll take you to Amazon. And I have adult coloring books centered around mental health, journals, notebooks, planners, like that. So pricing range from $5.99 to $7.99. Again, Temu prices. Chic has the Temu prices. So it's just about just doing what I can to help the next person. My background is clinical mental health counseling. I have a master's degree in clinical mental health counseling, which means that I have the educational credentials to operate as a therapist, but I choose not to operate in that capacity. I choose to be on here with you all doing content creation, amongst many other things that I'm tapped into. So I do thank each and every one of you. We are the honor students over here. If you are a subscriber to my channel, I affectionately refer to you as an honor student. We are lifetime. We ask questions. We seek out information. We require people to come up to our level. We elevate. We are not sheeple. We're not sheep. We're not easily led. We move on our own accord, all of that, all of those things. So if that's any of you, this is the place to be. Subscribe to the channel. We are growing. This is one of two channels I have. I have another channel called Chic Speaks, and I cover like viral news things right now. I've been talking about the Diddy trial, things like that. So just things going on with outside of politics, I'll talk about on Chic Speaks. Chic Speaks on it. I talk about politics on this channel. So that's how I distinguish the different channels. But they're both great channels that have a really good following. So follow me over there on Chic Speaks. Just drop the on it part. It's just Chic Speaks. Uh, with that being said, you all have a wonderful, wonderful day. Happy Hump Day. Take care of yourself. Do something nice for yourself. It's nice outside. The weather's beautiful here in Georgia. I hope it is the same wherever you are. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. And I will catch you all in the next broadcast. Peace.